Hi everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Chasers. Today is December 28th, coming up on 1 p.m. here, taking a look at the current weather around the region. We've got a winter weather advisory out for the Kennewick-Pendleton area for 1 to 3 inches of snow going through till tomorrow morning. And we're going to take a look at that system here in depth coming up. Heaviest snow south of the Tri-Cities per the winter weather advisory there. We've got a wind advisory up Bellingham for some gusts to 50 miles per hour. That goes through 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And these special weather advisories are just notifications for cold weather. As I'm sure everybody's aware, eastern Washington especially has the coldest temperatures right now and the most severe wind chills. Let's take a look at the satellite imagery now, and you can kind of see this ridge still just dominating our weather pattern here. And normally we've got Pacific storms out here, and they're coming through, and they're going up into southeast Alaska and into California, Oregon, and Washington. And you can see how this ridge just has it all just shut down, which opens that door for the cold north and northwest flow that we're getting. And that's why we're getting our snowfall here in the Pacific Northwest. So I wanted to show you this graphic here really quickly. If you're traveling to eastern Washington, be careful. The wind chills are extreme, especially north of I-90 there. And they're pretty chilly south of there, but some really extreme stuff. You can see Winthrop up -20 there. So heads up there. This is the snowfall map from last night. You can see some of the higher terrain east of Portland there got 3+ inches, and the models picked up on that pretty well. We didn't pinpoint the system until yesterday that it was actually right as the precip was coming, but then the models did pretty good. Well, the European did anyway. Some of the high resolution models struggled with these snowfall totals again. So another one in the wind column for the European model there. So let's look at yesterday here, the European model. This is for yesterday morning. I just kind of wanted to show you how subtle that system was. You see that little tiny wrinkle in the 500 millibar, 18,000 foot winds there? That's what caused our system that brought us an inch or more of snow for much of the region. And then you'll see as we go into tonight, another little wrinkle there. So we're going to watch that one come in tonight. We might see some more snow around the European model saying mostly Seattle south and out towards eastern Oregon. And we'll take a look at some of those totals here coming up. And if we go into the future here, you'll see that one pass by. And then here comes Thursday's system right here. It's going to warm up the area a little bit. There's a couple things working against snowfall. So we're going to take a look at that in some detail coming up. And before we go to the extended, we'll take a look there. This is current. Now going to the future here, and you can see we've got offshore winds across most of the region. There's some southerly winds, but they're light through Portland there. And you can see north winds coming through eastern Washington. And we got some winds starting down the gorge there. And this is on into Wednesday morning here. And you can see the northerlies coming out of the Fraser River Valley there and down through the Puget Sound all the way down into western Oregon now. And as we go into Wednesday night, you can see this kind of a reinforcing shot. There's going to be some cold air getting into the Portland area and the Willamette Valley also here into Wednesday morning. So as we go on into the future, taking a look at Thursday's system now, you can see well ahead of the precip, the winds start turning southeasterly through western Washington here. And that's going to start to try to warm us up. And you can see the winds pick up pretty good here, and they get going southeast all the way up through the strait east of Vancouver Island there. And you can see the onshore flow starting along the coast. And as we get into late Thursday morning, the winds start to switch back again out of the north. So we're going to cool down again. And you can see those north winds spread down across of Washington. And still got an onshore flow going here into Oregon at this point. So things are going to warm up, and then it's going to turn northerly again and cool down a bit. So we really need to watch Thursday night into Friday morning. It's going to be a kind of a slushy mess. We're going to have melting snow. And some snow is going to fall on Thursday most likely. And so that refreezing Thursday night and Friday morning, that is going to be treacherous. Black ice. And that's our biggest killer here as far as winter weather goes, is black ice on the roadways, car crashes. So that is setting up to be an ugly mess Thursday night into Friday morning. So heads up there, everybody. And what's working against us on Thursday? Well, if we look at Thursday morning here, these are 850 millibar winds, 5,000 feet. And you can see these winds are coming off the Olympics here. And there's going to be some downslope effects, what causes warming, and it eats away precipitation. So it's going to limit the snowfall totals a bit in some areas. Probably Seattle north is going to be shadowed, and probably some of Seattle is going to suffer from this too. And you can see how it kind of shifts out of the northwest there later Thursday morning. So that's going to hamper the snowfall totals a bit across Seattle. And I wanted to check the temperatures now here too. Let's check surface temperatures. And backing up a little bit here, you can see, we'll go into Wednesday morning. You can see everybody's pretty chilly. You know, Seattle down into the upper teens even. Eastern Washington, Eastern Oregon, very cold too. Teens and single digits for Northern Washington over there. And the Willamette Valley, pretty much below freezing all the way down. And as we come into Thursday morning here we go. Look at that overnight low in Seattle, 17. Some of the outlying areas of Portland in the teens. Even the Willamette Valley down there into the teens, possibly. Going to cool down quite a bit Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Then you see the warm-up start to come. Seattle getting back up into the 30-degree range there as the southerly winds are starting to work on this Arctic air mass. You can see Portland stays a little bit colder because the Willamette Valley doesn't get quite the scouring effect of these southerly winds that the Puget Sound gets. Not initially anyway. And you see Seattle go above freezing about 7 to 8 a.m., but just barely above freezing. So we still have to watch this system just to make sure that it's not going to, you know, something's going to happen and this will stay below. Maybe the system will come in further south last minute. But look at the coast starting to warm up pretty good. We're getting 40s now in there. And you can see the Arctic air mass trying to hang on in here, and it's just getting scoured at this point. And going on into Thursday afternoon, we're still above freezing, and then you see we cool down again. And this is where the danger period starts. Stuff's going to refreeze on Thursday night into Friday morning, and that could be very dangerous for motorists on the roadway. So heads up there, all the way down through the Willamette Valley. You're going freezing and below. This is a very treacherous situation here. There's going to be a lot of melting on Thursday, most likely. And on top of that, we're going to get another inch or two, probably through the Puget Sound and possibly down through Oregon. And then that's going to be slushy, wet. It's going to melt. The roads are going to be wet, and then we're going to drop back below freezing. So we really have to watch this. I mean, that's a hard freeze for Seattle by Friday morning. Look at that, 25. Portland still mid-20s. That's going to lock up the roads. So now taking a look at snowfall potential here in the European, you can see why they have the winter weather advisory out there for Kennewick, Pendleton, the areas out here. This is through Wednesday morning right now. Seattle South might get something similar to what we got last night. According to the European model, of course, the higher terrains are going to do better. Bringing this into motion here, you can see that actually piles up there a bit for Northeast Oregon there. Some of the higher terrain might get some 6+ inch totals. And here comes Thursday's system. You'll see that Seattle, you know, maybe 2 inches SeaTac before it starts to transition into a mixed of rain and snow or just plain old rain again on Thursday. We'll have to see how that goes. And then, of course, once you get into Thursday night, it's going to refreeze. And it looks like we're going to get to the mid-20s. So, like I said before, be careful for that refreezing on the roads. Black ice, #1 winter weather killer. And you can see another good snowmaker going through eastern Washington and northeast Oregon there. So this round definitely looks better than the last for the eastern portions of the state snow-wise. So snow lovers, enjoy that. And going on into the future here, let's look at the GFS. So here is tonight's little wrinkle in the jet stream. You can see it kind of coming over that little arm reaching out here, this colder air aloft, causing this little weak system that's going to slide through there, and that's what's causing the winter weather advisory for eastern Oregon, portions of eastern Washington. And then here comes Thursday's system right there. You can see the jet kind of tries to open up on us a bit. And we're going to warm up and then refreeze. And then as we get into the future here, you'll see much more of an overwater trajectory with this next system. And this is going to warm us up. We're definitely going to be back into the 40s for a while here. And after that, we start to get into fantasy land, and this thing is meandering here. We'll have to make sure that there's no cold air stored over here, and it's not going to pull anything through the gorge to cause any kind of freezing rain event or anything like that. But that's getting out into fantasy land here. So the extended is kind of up in the air at this point. So here's a graphic about winter precipitation and when certain precipitation types occur. So here's snow. Basically, the entire column is at or below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes about 1,000 feet for snow to melt from snow to rain. So at the surface, the freezing level can be above you about 1,000 feet, and you can still be getting a rain-snow mix at the surface. Sleet is when precipitation is melting as it goes through a warm layer aloft, and then it refreezes into ice pellets and little crystallized snow mixed with ice pellets as it hits the surface. Freezing rain is when you've got warm air aloft and a shallow layer of freezing air. And so when this rain moves through this column, it then hits surfaces that are frozen, like cars, trees, power lines, airplane wings, the street. And these events can be very damaging. They can bring down trees and power lines. And Portland gets quite a few of these events when there's cold air built up on the east side of the Cascades. And the gorge is a nice cold air conduit that just brings cold air into Portland easily with an east wind. And of course, rain is when you've got precipitation that falls as rain throughout the entire column. It can be snow above, but it has enough time to melt and just be rain at the surface. So just thought I'd go over that for you guys. If you guys like these videos, click like and subscribe, and I'll keep making them. I might do a live Q&A tonight, and of course I'll have another video out tomorrow. We'll take a look at tonight's weak little system and see how that impacted areas. And then we'll look at Thursday's system again. It's going to be much clearer by tomorrow what's going to happen. So I will talk to you guys later, and check back on Twitter too if you want to see some up-to-the-minute updates there during the day today. I'll talk to you guys later.